That we are alive. Thank the Lord that for the last 3 weeks we have been dealing with the hearts of human beings. And today we continue with our programs. I know our fans, some of you are wondering why we have our hearts but the three. But it's necessary that we need to talk on this essential part. In part 1 and 2, we are seeing that God has given us 2 hearts, and that's why we are supposed to take care of them. And today, part 3 of our hearts is that we need to do the application. How do we do those things, and how do they help us in one way or the other? As far as we are concerned, we have done that God gave us 2 hearts, and that is the body and the mind, which we need to take care in this 21st century. And this is one of the things which makes our youths to make decisions. So when we are talking of the human hearts, we are talking about life. As we saw in the first episode and the second, when we say that God has given us 2 hearts, are we taking care of it? Because from it, life flows. In the summary, the Lord takes care of our palms and our hearts, but we need to take care of our minds. Today in part 3, we are dealing with the application and part of it, which will be our last episode, that we need to know and understand who we are, physically, mentally, spiritually, and socially. All of those things come through your hearts, and the way you think is the way you are. Yes, we have said somebody's opinion is not the best, but we need to know that the way you think, that's the way we are. That's also the book of Psalms, Proverbs 23, verse 23. That from our hearts, that's what comes out. It's my sincere prayer as we continue with these programs, that those of us who are outside there may have a positive impact, that we may see Jesus through this media, saving souls through Christ. The voice of victory is essentially there to lead people to see Christ. We do have a lot of challenges, and that's one more application, that whatever we are seeing which is going across the borders is what is in our mind. There is rumors and there is wars. For example, there is a war between Israel and Hamas. There is a war in Ukraine and Russia. There is a war in Sudan. But when Israel went into war, we forgot all this. Because Israel is in the Middle East, it affects all hemispheres, both in the southern and the northern hemisphere. My dear brothers, it's not business as usual, because when Israel is in a war, it's almost the whole world is in a war. Because Israel belongs to the Jews, and the Hamas belongs to the Arabs. Last time, if I can do the recap, I said that people put some safeguards on how not to have another war. But we had the Second World War, which came into being due to structures and organizations which were not working. We didn't spend that in this time, at this opportunity, that we will have a war. Many countries are supporting the Arabs, some others are supporting the Israelis. What does it tell us? The way we think is the way we are. So let us guard our hearts. Whenever you see wars in the world, whenever you see famine in the world, whenever you see all these issues coming up, it's because it's what is in our mind. Somebody somewhere must have said and thought that I should provoke X, Y, Z so that we may have a war. And that's why we are here, to advise and say that whatever we are seeing is what is happening. What happens or what comes into your mind when you hear there is a war in the Middle East, especially in Israel? Egypt has come out clear that they can use our territories, but they cannot support any war. Because, yes, they are Arabs, but they cannot support their brothers who are Arabs. Neither can they support Israel because they know these are their brothers. Muslim and Christian have one thing in common: Abraham is their father. Ismail is the father of the Arabs, and Isaac is the father of the Christian. So these 2 boys or those 2 men are fighting their own. They belong to one father. It's a good time that we need to come to our senses that these songs which were spoken in the Bible must come to an end. Things have been prophesied that we should have wars, but it will have one universal war. This morning, when I was going through my devotion, I came across one statement, and that is in the book of Genesis, chapter 1 and chapter 2. They are talking of two creations, but when you see chapter 2 gives the details of what is in chapter 1. Then then God gave Adam the power to name all items, list naming of all animals, naming of all plants, and other creatures and other things in the sea or in the air. What provoked my mind, the way you think is the way things are, that the heart produces a lot of things. My dear brothers and sisters, what are we saying? The way we think is the way we are. The young boys, the young men, the way you are thinking today is what you will be tomorrow. If you plan to become an engineer, you should work to become an engineer, and you should do what it takes. Mathematics becomes a mandatory, sciences becomes mandatory. If you have any language, it can assist you. And if you want to be a doctor, you need to take more biology and chemistry so that you can be a better doctor. If you want to be a lawyer, you need to go to humanities where we have CRE, history and history, so that you may become the best. Part 3 of heart, what is in your mind? And the application is, whatever we are seeing in the world is because of the human activities, and that is the heart of man. Today I'm encouraging and welcoming you to this session that as we continue discussing, we come to our senses that whatever we are seeing in the planet Earth, it was there and it has been in being is because of the way we think. Some of us who are in school, some have closed their schools. Our boys and girls, some are at home because they have closed for the long holiday of December. We tell you welcome back. There are those who are going to close in the course of the week. But more so, we have candidates for the junior secondary. We have the standard CBC 6 and we have the standard 8 and the Form 4s. So 2023 is a year of to contemplate of how do we make these 4 classes move to the next level. The Form 4s will join universities. The standard 8 will go to secondary schools. Then the standard 6 will go to junior secondaries. Are we prepared for the same? It's unfortunate we are finishing a year with junior secondary schools. The application is, are we really sincere? And that's where now I want to see part 3 of our hearts. The application of what we are thinking is what we are seeing. Somebody somewhere in 1974, by the name of Sikuku, there was another one by George Anyana. When those men were in parliament, they thought that we should have a new constitution. It's almost 40 or so years ago. Some of us who were there thought that this one was a big and a tall dream which would never become a reality. 2010, it became a reality. But those who dreamed that they should have a new constitution were nowhere to be seen in the map. But some of us have carried it and we are saying we are the fathers and founders of the new constitution. Away from it. What am I saying? The application of part 3 is that the way we think is the way we are. That's my essence this morning, that we need to emphasize that if you need something, you must be focused, you must be focused, and you must be focused. Never stop focusing until you achieve what you want. Some of us lose heart, some of us are not patient. It may take longer, but we know at the end of it, at the ultimate end, we need to be there. So when we are saying the heart part 3, that we need to internalize, we need to see our mind, we need to talk to our boys and girls. We need to listen more instructions to those who are elderly, so that you can absorb more into your heart, which is your mind. Don't know what I'm talking to somebody. We need to listen to what the elders are saying. Yes, they may make a mistake, but they get the instructions. Listen to instruction. Taking the advice. It is high time that we need to do it. There's no option. Our mind was built in such a manner that it needs to get new information. When a boy or a girl is born, or when a baby is born, it is the blank. The brain is blank, but it's being filled. What are we filling with our minds? And our minds always continue growing. Concepts comes there, or ideas, or knowledge. These things need to expand our heads. They need to tell us we are moving from one level to another. The way you think is the way you are. Some of us, sometimes we take it for granted that the God is designed that I should be poor. Some of us say that because I'm from a rich family, so I will inherit the richness, which is good. But those of us who are coming from humble background, we need to work extra hard because we need to move somewhere. As the Holy Book says, why some of us are poor is because we don't work for it. Number two is because some of us are lazy. And number three, some of us are what we are because we say we can never change the status. My advice this morning, that we need to think out of the box. We need to change where we are. We need to change the environment. We need to change our mindset. And that's too big. Mindset is the way you think. That's your focus. What is the essence and what are you looking for? It's my sincere prayer that when we are doing this thing, my young boys, my youths, we need to change our hearts. We need to change our application. Some of us who are in school, we are not very serious with our studies, especially in the mathematics and the sciences. But we are burning our heads in the application, in the form of our phone, smartphones. This is a part of the application that we are using more on it, but on the hardware we don't want to go there. This is a software, but we need to go to the hardware. What is this computer? What is this mobile phone made of? How did somebody think to assemble those things and bring them together? So some of you think it is too much. I need to go the software. I don't want to work hard. There's no option. Especially from the humble background, which you always say, if you come from a poor family, which I'm calling humble background, you need to think twice. Some of us worked hard so that we will be here today. I wish to empower you and encourage you that you need to work an extra mile to be somebody, and that you need to have the third heart. That's why St. Paul, in one of his holy books, in the book of Philippians, he said, I pray God gives you and opens the third eye. And that's what I'm talking. That's the heart, that which you can make application. It is sometimes this week. I don't know, some of us may be for it or against. There is a young girl who has discovered that we should eat more grass. That he has gone to the laboratory for some times. She has worked upon it. That she has brought the grass. She has made flour out of it and we can cook ugali, which is made of grass. Only the advertiser or the promoter of that was not taking that food. I don't know what I'm talking to somebody. What I'm saying is this, that now it is the era of where we need to invent the things, that we can use green grass to make food. But sometimes it baffles me that here we are, a cow which is black, it takes water which is colorless, but it gives us milk which is white. What about the chemistry? I don't know, but my director, I'm saying that we need to amplify that. After break, wacha tuenda hapo madukani tuuse na maduka hapo tuuse vidogo na tupewe mnyimbo. Baada ya hapo tutaendelea na hiyo topic. Kwako kwa engineer.
numanyite buna Voice of Victor Radio and TV twagaririo bokoreri boito gocha sore no bwato moyega uganetio tonwe ebe numoyega bwenyangi gosama tanga gosomoyega graduation uyoganetie oirukiwe ya mase yemo asomotando YouTube gosikobekwa ase TV ya Voice of Victory bono Voice of Victory no ere amonae naboto kwirukiria omoyego yo live asomotando YouTube boigo elindo nyariko bakogwikira no nyambari baraskinse chaisiko ntobwate chi public address system checho kire chingikirano na boigo kirairero moyegogo ogende buya otariko butoka Voice of Victory boigo nkwena na toro bokoreri bogwa kachibi chago se photography boigo na bokonyora chigendereta chingi ya ekirago konye asomoyegogo ekerestima ya butokire ngokora tore cake making cake decoration na boigo ngokora tore moyega o outside catering abwastogo chana korageria abageni asomoyega ogo boigo enyeko bwato moyega uyoganeti chiema amone birogo Voice of Victor Radio and TV no turaiga asengencho yao asamange ake namba yesimi ekobwatia enoti isano na ibere enoti eyemo isano na isato isano na isato isano na 0720173287 gose enoti isano na ibere isano na inye enoti isato gose enoti isano na ibere enoti isano nemo kianda isano nemo isano isato gosoto tarere asamaga cha golf arcade agotoka somo chobosongo barabare ne stadium ya Gosi. Voice of Victory, leading souls to Christ.
Msia wa mintongoro Kelvin osire uko ngangusi njeno monyagitari wa mangana ya mental health uso monyagitari wa bongo ase Betamiri hub to korega siyo konya abantu wangire gwetere mechandi yo kunywa mariogo yo gotindi amona maru kerabachirega Betamiri to kwate abonyagitari njeno yo mobo boko bakonya twaba mariogo na twaba sibye biteko mu mbere baba bantaba ya kabisa twange yakoba mafunzo twaba train kero babo soka kororo banyoramba bwategento bakora baenda bakolega sibe konya twaba tukuba bwatisikali na kibaenderete twakonyira abantu abange babeire buya bayiraniri ototebimbu ya mono una abandi tuko boro kiase omoere bwe video yengo boro kitore bali twangirego twanyarye ko batobokonya bakabanyorere tsigasi tutagete leta abantu bamino banyore obokonyi baruga banyore tsigasi kero tore Betamiri hub program nere koroko aftercare togo tatwarana kibaendrete follow ups toko make follow ups na chirega ne team yana kora follow ups korora bali oyo mobo lengo role korokuna Charles bono Charles nonye industry taxi ya ongo gosabali baga unganzere ngo boli amaswali makeigo nongeri baga
nanjire
bono ndete komanyana ki oendrete gesa orubetami wa korete metinyi tatororo karwororo ga cheiska ngakioro chobo mabwache njiri kero utaracha Betami ne kero kwarure Betami
yo mindo myagitari ndoje ngana bo maisha ne ajitaga chenji kabisa ndoje nganya sae ongonyete kangorokia Betami rehab kiara bono ndoje siko ali sina rengi konyora angu konyona chandikire na boraibu wa madawa kulevya na abantu bane familia ane konyora ya tamire ko baya madawa kulevya bondo jikuru ngichenya gitari ya Betami bondo jina konye kire ndoje nyasa ndaete ngacha oje senya gitari ya
asante ingi mono gyako gogeti kero kwarenge Betami utanyari ko bokwiwa
aligo na roje ngaba nyagitari baro barekia ring naende Aine ndagira mali nabo ntoko nyoranga turi njarate iyo. Nabo nyora company, wood company.
Wono riri utaraza Betami nekero gwachire Betami naruche pastor ngochari abasabira muono kero mole Betami no endelete bado na koende kanisa na mafunzo ari mwale koebu kiaira kero kwa ngeiru raibu konyore bintu ne kanisa ya rule meao
Bono nga se mongana yo gotore kana bona tore kurwa Betami naende ngwakira nyasaye mbia mono kiera mpaka bono kuruya libo kumwana bogachenjia kanisa nana komisi
igombia ingiora tei bali babwate mechando bune kwa bwate kare iri utaraza Betami ingiora nyare ko ba ujumbe kiora nyare ko boko batebi
kakingo batebi ngaba join Betami rehabilitation kiara na baba konyeka mba luzi hope baisa goja iga Betami abara konyeke
sasa
ayetata suka ayebaba suka
Uru Superstores Limited Kisi nigo barentera mangana maya saba na bodaboda wetera somo rubiri umanyekaire muna bodaboda express counter uyorengete kwangu yaba na bodaboda obaweka kugora ebinto ao gochakire tarike ya mutinye 10 omwaka oyo iga weka tarike 30 neyemo abana bodaboda nigo barachikoroserwe counter yabo ya bene ase baragore ebinto asirigurire inse na gokorerwa wango mono nyuma kagwakorero bwonchorira na Uru Superstores Limited nigogoterna seri bagabo igoryo kwenyorera ebyegwa ao une reflector jacket amone ebyego binde binge gwakarera kende yonsi gotayo
asamarira ngoro Rafael Mbaga ngoro wa jinsa mochi yakigogi ni amaranje ngoro gatene duka ya Uru Superstore because ige otokorera bwangu mono formaganto aranyo the challenge yo kotwale jam kire aramuna wano ntwana bodaboda toko takatwagenda bwangu ntwanyora se toko genda bodaboda express azo totangeire toko na dara yitwa basabu bwangu ende twanya gwikira n'ibintu bindi boyigo sama goliae garama golia mayamono ombe ali neji duka chinde bato wakambuya Uru Superstore gender tutagenda tokonyora services butambe
asamange naboko baikera gwetera se namba yesime kubwatia 01 11 16 15 00 01 11 16 15 00 Uru Superstores Limited, the people's choice, guaranteed lowest prices or your money back. Karibu nyumbani. Cosmeris Medical Center ni nyagitari enya ya kira somo cyogusi edyokorwa obogwenia asamarwire ao nigo ebwata abanyagitari bari n'obumanyi obonene boigo nkorenga bari amarwire ao nabo igomba bwata kimashini cyekerero cyo gupima nabo igokoringoria amarwire ao
Pima amarwire ni sukari twapima prostate y'abasanja twapima na fidiareli na syphilis twapima malaria twapima cancer twapima amabere barire kiwango kia amanyinga somubere nayanda amangu twapima bara kama senye tari yetu ya Cosmeris Medical Center yangu kortora test kuma furimogram twapima twara any infection utoka simogram
Abantu baminto karibu mwensi Cosmery Medical Center. Cosmery Medical Center ni nyagitari yangeni nande bwato bumanyi bwigoro yakire gaso mu chito bosongo igotore si situated aiga entereko yande Kisi Stadium ya bosongo ose ange sana ne chiobisi chi county government ya Kisi. Cosmery Medical Center tuwate abanyagitari we birango bigoro nanda abanyagitari bare talented in the field yo gwenya oise bototarera Cosmery Medical Center etuwate services Jones including physiotherapy banta umukonya kurume megongo namagoro tutarere Cosmery Medical Center erinda tanyare ko ba machibu yemechando yaino nando buya bogo tarera Cosmery Medical Center again tegetangani igotokora kuringoria ntori komonyokera go kwa mariogo igo asenge ntoni manyeta banta bange barwarete banyura mariogo lakini mechando yabo teraera bono ga Cosmery Medical Center ego twa realize ringa egentege tangani tokokorera abantu baito no kuringoria asengenjo tobwate chi machine chekerengo keigoro to kuringoria mechando yao ekere twanyorero mochando bwatu mubiro twamanya gukwa mariogo ari ikiranite sengenjo tobwata mariogo isaine igo enare kubasaba onde byensi bwatu mochanda aberega kurwali asenga kientambe kwa bere go gotadira kinyagitari yao ao manyete ngake yetwekire go tobegete chibesa mutwe abanyagitari abange igoto koligerera chibase cyao lakini ekerogo cha Cosmery Medical Center igoto koligerera obugima bwao nambe yamo twara rangaki obugima bwao kwira nasi bwarengeri tangani utarachikanyoro buriro igo nari ko basaba manya minto motarere Cosmery Medical Center no ndu munyagitari yo moko gokoro bolingori bwari yaju elinde tonyare ko barigerera nako bamariogo gente kemokero kinde no mayane kelinga oisego tarere nyagitari yaito mpaka ubwene. Karibu.
Hello.
Asamange banyore ase namba yesimi 0726239234 gose 0726724662 kusubatarire asomo chobosongo mbarabare na Easy Coach Booking Office gose mbarabare na Rubis Petrol Station. Goro Spexels Opticians Kisi Voigo Ngwanchabari Chibima Chowo Gwene Kurwasti Company ao Buneria ya AAR GA Liason MUAA Kenyan Alliance Kenbright Lucent Pioneer Amoni Chinde Chinyinge Igo bagotoka asomo chobosongo egatia Old Shivling Supermarket amona KCB Bank aria somo chomo ne Nairobi igo kubanyora asama gacha Balfa House mbarabare na Java House ase parenene ya Kimathi Street.
Welcome to Spexels Opticians Budka Clinic Kisii. We are located next to Shivling Supermarket and KCB Bank. So we'll go through a few things where we start the eye test. We offer free eye tests and with all the latest machinery. Starting from here, we come here and we give you the best eye test possible in Kisii town.
Jambo, kwa majina naitwa Bwana Malomba, msaidizi daktari katika Spexels Opticians Budka Clinic. Hapa katika kliniki yetu tunasaidia watu ambao walio na tatizo mbalimbali, kwa mfano walio na tatizo ya kuona, kusoma na shida ya mwangaza. Karibuni.
Naboko banyora ase namba yesimi kubwatia enoti AMO enoti Cosmery Medical Center ni nyagitari nya ya kira somo chogusi ediokorwa obogwenia asamarwire ao nigo ebwata abanyagitari bari n'obumanyi obonene boigo nkorenga bari amarwaire ao
So welcome back to Voice of Victory in Souls to Christ. Hope you have enjoyed the adverts, and there we are back. Today we need to say that the Lord has brought us this far, and we were talking about our heart. So from the Holy Book, that is Matthew chapter 6 verse 21 says, take heart or guard your heart, because that's where life comes from. The book of Matthew chapter 6 verse 21, it reads and it says like this, for where your treasure is, that's where your heart is. Sometimes we are misusing this word heart, but in the Bible, essentially, it's saying about heart, it says that's our richness, that's our wealth, that's our resources. As a normal human being, when you have your wealth, that's where your mind is. If you have animals like cows, that's where your mind is. If you have sheep, that's where your mind is. If you have goats, that's where your mind is. If you have children, that's where your mind is. So what are we saying? Where we have treasured, where we have put our treasure, so our heart follows, our mind is there. That's what we are saying. Given that, we can say that give me your heart. And that's what the Lord is saying. If we give our hearts to Jesus, He knows what to take care of us. Sometimes one person said, past predicts the future. That what we have learned in the past will predict what is the future. Now, one of my best writers says, if we know how the Lord has led us in the past, then we have no fear for the future, because we have confidence that the one who has led us from the past, He will lead us to the future. Let me repeat that. One of my best writers puts it like this. If we know how the Lord has led us in the past, then we have no fear for the future, because we have confidence that He who has led us in the past will lead us to the future. This writer, in essence, is saying this, that if you can trace your past or your backwardness, you can know what happened yesterday, last week, and even last year, or even 10 years ago. That if we can recall that, then the very God who said, let us make man in our own image, we know He will lead us to the future. Past predicted the future. That what we are seeing here can tell us what we are. There are those farmers who did their groundwork very well in January, February. By March they were able to plant. Then they did the what is necessary. Now, today, all in November, some of them are looking forward to want to do heavy harvest because they have done a good job in the past. So, the past predicts the future. In other words, the past tells us what is happening and what is going to be. So this word that the past can tell us what is going to be in the future, it doesn't tell us we still stand still and remain there. The very Holy Book says, be still and see the Lord's hand working. But there is a part we need to do. As young people, as adults, we need to advise. My dear girls and boys, it is high time that we should wake out of slumber, that we should wake up and open our hearts to receive the essential skills, to receive knowledge and wisdom from the elderly. It is high time we need to dwell on the skills, on the knowledge and the wisdom of the elderly. Sometimes back somebody said this, that when a library burns, people were crying. But in Africa, when we lose an old mzee, an old mom, who has a lot of wisdom and knowledge and skills, it doesn't affect us so much. But I wish that the library we just gone into smoke. The past predicts the future. And at the same time, we may say this, present determines our destiny. Present determines our destiny. That means where we are, it's telling us, it's divining. We are working on what will be tomorrow. If you have taken accounts, you become an accountant. If you have taken sciences, you may be a doctor. If you have taken sciences, you may be an engineer. So the present determines your destiny. Some people think that things will fall from heaven like manna. But sometimes we need to work for our own. Take this example. Most of us, when it comes dark and in the evening, we have to close our gates, all our doors, then we sleep. But during the day, we take it easy, there is light, everybody's seeing what's happening. Yes, as Christians and Muslims, we do pray that the Lord takes care of us. The big question I'm asking you, why do you lock your door if the Lord is for you? Why don't you leave it open? We need to take our position. We need to take our guards. We need to take precautions. So as much as you are a Christian, as much as you are a Muslim, you are praying to God to give you safety, but you have to take safeguards. You don't have to open your doors. You may give somebody temptation. They have forgotten to close the door. Then he will come in. And as he comes in, he may do what is not necessary. So what are we saying? We need to take care of this heart, because that's where life comes from. So that's why we say present determine our destiny. That the present world we are living. And those are now the three statements. Number one, I said, if you give your heart to God, God will control it. The past predicts the future. And the number three, present determines the future. My boys and girls, what are you going to be? Like some of you say, what are you to be tomorrow? What is your future? Some of our boys and girls, take more time sleeping, take more time enjoying. And somebody said, if you don't work when you are hard, you will work extra hard when you are old. Some of us come from the islands. Anyway, that's a bad example, but I have to give it. There were some of us who were in school, some of the boys and the girls who were saying, we are malingeras, we don't want to do heavy manual work. We are malingeras, or in other words, we are sickling. That we are not supposed to do manual work and other heavy duties. So we were exempted. And we got the life easy. And we thought the future would be for us. That's why some of us who are malingeras in schools, you find them, they are just in vehicles. Not against them, but maybe it's because of not their fault. Naona mtu anakimbiza gari auze kitu ambacho hako nacho kwa sababu alikuwa malingeras, lakini saa hizi anakimbia. Other friend of mine who was saying it's not healthy, it's not up to date. He was exempted from any heavy manual work. Those days of ours when we were in school, when we were boys. So sometimes you young boys and girls, when you see us, you think we are old. No. Someday, like we were like you. One day I was a baby of 1 day old. Yes, today I'm mzee, but those days are there. So this friend of ours was saying, I'm not feeling well, I don't do heavy manual work. Oh my God, when I met him in one of our bus stations, he was able to catch up with a bus. And I marveled, and when I came back, I asked him, surely, is this the so and so my new? Yes. So were you doing pretense when you were in school that you are malingala in Sana, that you are sickly? He said those were the days when we were able to cheat. And the people would not, because of late, if you go to school with somebody, some principals or teachers may say, they may need an evidence from a medical institution to say, XY said he's having a problem, ABC, so let him be exempted. Present determines our destiny. So whatever you are doing now, you may be cheating us as human beings, but tomorrow you have to harvest it. Whether you like it or not, there's no other way out. So those of us who are pretending that we are sickling, we can't make this, so you are given comfort zones, but now you are doing it the opposite. Some of us who are waking up. Let me give you a formula for my boys and the girls who are in school. Yes, you are coming home for holidays. Some of you are already in your holidays. That you may be with us for the next 2.5 months, over 70 days, over 75 days, even over 80 days. You will be with us at home. You say, Daddy, Mommy, in school we are waking up to 4, so it's my time to sleep. Why I wish to advise you, young girl, you young boy, it is time to continue with the same system so that your body may be used to wake up at 4. And when you grow up, you will see the fruits. What am I saying? Study more, read more, work hard, so that tomorrow the future may be easy. But if you sleep more now, you will be waking up. Let me give you this example. I do see people, only 2 people on the road. Whenever you're walking to work, somebody is driving. So some of us go to work while walking or we take a motorbike. But some of us go to work driving our own vehicles. And those are the only 2 people. So my boys and the girls, do you want to walk to your work if you sleep now? If you want to walk using your vehicle to the working place, it's now you have to work for it. For that's Mercedes-Benz, V8, name them. Those are good vehicles, you know. But if you sleep more, you will wake up early so that you can catch up with the public vehicle. But if you had worked for it, you will go have it, and that's the transportation system. You will wake up late and you will go fairly fast. You have not got what I'm saying. Work hard when time is. It's now that you need to work more. So I'm advising our challenges we have with the 21st youth century is that they like more sleeping at the expense of working. Solomon, the wise man, says this, that a little slumber, a little enjoyment in the bed, a little warmth, that leads to poverty. A little. There's somebody who says this, procrastination is the best thief of time. But let me postpone it. Let me push it to the following day. Let me push it to next week. Let me push it to next month. I have enough time. My dear boys and girls, procrastination is the best thief of time. If there's something you need to do, do it now and even not today. And do it effectively. I have an example again. On the same note, there are some people we call who can assist our workers who are paid. And these workers did a lot of heavy manual work. They were collecting harvested maize from the shamba to bring to the homestead. So this Moses told these workers, I can see you are tired. You can go for the last lap so that we can rest and call it a day until tomorrow. So he told those friends of mine, you can just go pick as much as you want, or as little as you want, so that we can finish. So they went back to the field, they collected some maize, but there was one mom who was yours faithfully. Whether under supervision or not, she knew her work. Huyu mama alijaza karibu kikapu. A whole sack. She was almost carrying a whole sack of maize, which was not kongolewa. So they finished. When they came, the man was at the gate. They said, don't bring now the maize inside. Just sit there, then I will pay you. So they were waiting for the payment. He said, because you have done a good job, and tomorrow we are going to do it, I'm not going to pay you the whole amount, but whatever you have carried from the field, that's what you are taking to your home. Watu wengine wakaanza kushika lolo dale kumanya. Kiento kile kile yote waiga. Mwango daga de yawanto wataka makonye gas. Wataka makonye gas. Bakasombe bitu makuru mugondo, usijibanda mna wanda wako chiro kikirango. Semelio mara wadana kienda wana mubugo limino tekete ole ente ka to sie gas. Kare wagenda baira na goja. Aga de wono ndagere muliko bekese yane ikarasa na eroiga mbakana. Aga de senga nyenda bwa dibe jisa ine. Ndage tora ile ndagere ikwabo kulio malio ola irabu abana abajikolia. Aga nje mbakane ne maya. Omongena naro ina kwa nege songa na era aro aligere gweta aligere lwo ale kubolia ebituma birinde bibwata ne biyamba ale kubeka biyamba cyo lebuni ana kabeka bo karo monono wako tena boguli bimubwata ando ando bakabwata monono be igona ne akana ebisini anda wange moganye temana ko kuligere anda wange matakire na moyo we supervision monitoring and control. Toi kire miato de ko control. Ebi janga mbere to ko ga CCTV ji ko era ando ba colleagues. Ando ba colleagues because they are being monitored or being supervised. Ose ko kire iro madra ninde ngere. Lakini buye ka ko mena da colleagues. What is in your heart? Ngikera sengora ya ona buke ko soka. Angwa nagara wana baiwe ekara wana no uji kwali ke songe kiyomo makuru wabu totari koi wakinde na kwa no monoyo se wali mogo ikukana wali molejiko mwako ya mama kana okora interview lakini wate interview mo okora ka be weekend mo na interview mo okora igere raisi tuwo ikama ambia saa 12 yakanyara ko office kwa rusie godi kwa sunga kwa ina mwino wale mangaseti naro kwa soma tatu kogora kwa saa moja kwa nywe chai kwa ina na aliye kuwa begete godi mwaligele mangaseti mwako na ngekeroro mokora basa mbili saa 3:30 mwende meeting na banana mwa amange mwaso mama mangaseti anenge muroje igere ndege ngale bata yetu na uwe ikaiga ayoko rusie godi kwa idige rumo liendeme mwaja mwaso mama ngaseti kwaso yende oji mwena amwanyo cha koirana lituko litanga ni kero monda karusie goti ekana basaja boka balenge bakati interview lituko lya kabere bakanya mondo tayo mondo ama aja ne goti abande balenge na marabo abalengange batano yo abande bakomule musegwe bako beke goti akata ngora odorochi akabeke goti lituko lya itangane lituko lya kabere unaka mwoza ese nengelo na ndongo ruziwoti amani nyuma ye wiki ayo maga tikara otare ko okarama minja ero chobeke goti otiga ekare wiki ya era bakarangere ku interview ade interview ya ile bakamana ko ku ne wiki ngimabale goja lakini bakadana naro yo mobika ole ko rusie goti ane sanga yetu ara ko rusie goti na ane tariko wasulu fo supervised na era wono goli ko abande genda ka yakara muri ko follow instructions medo sengia waso some of us need supervision and monitoring omosajo era manda na njeki na ade una kingo kolera is one of my friend is an ambassador now outside the country lakini ndio kia mwade gazi tali na masoma abwata manene tali na abwata gene kanene datige ga go follow instructions so my young boys abamora wana wa ke mundu gedra na wana monte garate tali ras mo muri abo mana ko kolegas tali ras mo muri abo mana ko jotenya tali ras mo muri abo mana ko myokaro tali mo ras mo muri abo mana ko ajiombe ndagero sekende. Do work without supervision. Your present determines your future. Agina go na rega. Present determines your destiny. And the past predicts the future. Kiliona na dokora, ono gora na njeno mwana. Kara njoka ngobe ke bikoro debi umweboli. I know mweboli whatever wana wakole X Y Z wakole ABC. Wo gojo wakere jinkobi. Mata masabi kinare sikali ya kumete nagi ngie kwa wana kale kukuana engale kote ya maiga totara na break ene to sa ko ni video sika una ta ko to mara ko ina aga to ko ngulu what we are saying today enkoro to ire ebirangali to ire bi to ko nye ngito ja ko ra ma mbere ina ta wa application ya so mo dale ko mo no ye kenya mo ro senje kenya ndambali ina ko te ya maiga asitu ikire miake abana wata ke ina mambia ane me jaro to wata wai bolbe miake makana no mwana ofomfo yo kala mademo mambi go ko boka kwaji ko madona boka soma ndo bale to soma de miake rembe number 1 bale to ko beka kama gora maje bese nime agar to urara mambi ko ale ko boka na tamo sinjia renge kwaboga kwagenda kwarigie mete chingo kwatia use kwate thimara baba kwa utomulero kwara cia breakfast utaragenda cukuru use obetoro breakfast ogenda njara kina wangina barero na bagaga ayanye kwari kuboga kwero serie ndagera kwaria lero mokoro serie abana bageta musi nande gwachi kora mutura boge ndikabara waga ekorere gasi mwako no mupasto ndo rara na ekeneke koligi tu egete chinko bogeka karo tu egete manya chinko bogeka ana kyo kwaro lia bando bonse. What we are saying is this: in the future ne bono ega krio kora bono na kimambio ko chakogesa tu asomete miaka nana tu akabogere ntutueka tu alaka manyene ndinkorara ndinkoboka enagera ninje na leko erose. Sometimes maybe that mother man was a bit strict or was careless. Era ada ndinkoboka wasaja na bangi na babando bane omokoboka endagera nindo asenti ninde ate endagera nyomba rosi muri akina walibo libale karaka nge wiki jamwa wao akiomeda na wana wao bangina wande bakwirire jikoni baboke barosi breakfast banyana ndo bakemeza bachako gutura ayoli ogende sukuru indika omusajo yuko somo kungu yuko mundo begete nyomba kwa komanyegasi yendo kene ngere kora ali gorumo amando mala bagatakonyega sogoroka andis ko semaids para momento jikoni momento korosi ndagera bia lakini abana baitumba momento korosi ndagera indika yara komanya wale bakole baka form 4 wale bakole baka college wale batuade baka degree lakini kwa sababu jikoni ni mejana enkole yoko mo. That's why I say application of the heart is very big and painful. Let us not miss the track. Is the application of the human heart. Ndu aroja ngone ya sawa to ilibere na ande na kiako tulende lakini wala na the application of this that the life draws from there. Ndu wako na give resources, richness and quality depends on what we are doing present. Wanda wale tokuimuka tuwatumia jiwe sakira lituko na wanda wale bako jiwe sakira lituko da dorara wanda wale kana kwa ndega asi na karo koira na ngoru zile silingi 50 osemia 200 ogire gasi na ndoira ne ige gasi aye no gotumia jibesa omudeni ko yaro akanu egaro akana madeni wanda wangena otomero wose omwate gari ebwate mabera mama mbaje na magute ko nyonga naiga iko jibesa jijose pingo jitumia chiagenda age sawe na maya ila sinene ndeta bana morole na yabembe lakini ebwate jibesa abantu bonse bitole seye na wangina nimbegete buti nimbegete nesati omuntu naro yaroseti They go na beauty and the water and the saloons. Those people are making money. They don't spend. Yana karo so nuru yanga. Ikitamba kia urusi shilingi 1200 paka jiribu ya mana 500. Umondo no weke usika ojo so na byewe abe suti. Amo jiribu nya isana. Igazi pende jibesa ko se kanya wajibesa. Onda susi. And the one that work group go to the rank. We are going to our boys to see the Boston. Katu alenge college. Mumuronda akaimoka akagole rangi akagole brush kalenda na kabesa ni akachabuga na akatamba ototinyele mambega tuamoga na isilingi sana yako ndo bo time ndo wakera bikoro ndo rangi korwa hostels lakini ntole isiko toka ndo mwalimu waje ekarne hall tuwa waso mumuronda na rangi nera bali muntango tinyeliga wala isilingi sana nejinga ekaran teneiga ngaroko na wakera banderani hesabu gende yobo jinge gajo mututo koroga hesabu ya kuhesabu huyu amepata ngapi akira abantu 10 50 shillings break to soga akira bona abange kwa bamanyire in the evening if the force de me kwa ngona ki shwale sana no mwanafunzi na induna tole bona nge kwa lenge he had the brain of entrepreneurship and yomo ndo na jirega na na gera ngero imbade siringi jimi sana lakini rangi na atumia ni asiringi 100. Akorabo agato koruga college to gotirumbuga nyuma yeji wiki sa to agato kora under education and ma dena nyari siringi jiri ba malonge na isano koro siwa sana atumia isi ni na atumia de rangi asiringi 500 he made over 25,000 ekana wana to ko mo kata na ko ligironi era akane transport akaboya akana wana wa Yesu kuruisi. Kuna kazi ya ujinga tu wangete kazi ni to wangete na nene chao. Ngumuta ketera akole lakini nota ke ro ya kole ruai. Eyo ko kazi chao ai nota ke ro kole nota ite ko kana clean smart lakini nota ite ko ya kora. Dema te fundi wa mitambo kusunungu ngwete. Ya ko ngwete na bo ngwana na mbiole. Era kwa ngwana oso ko jabu jitu kama ino. Tora oni kama ibere na matera berada to. To ko iro ne gara to conclude. Kwa ko fundi wangu wa mitambo.
Ine nomanyite buna Voice of Victor Radio and TV twagari irio bokoreri boitogo cha sore no bwato moyega haugane tiotonwe ebe no moyega bwe nyangi gusama tanga gusomo yego graduation oyoganetie oirukiwe mase yemo asomotando YouTube gusukubikwa ase TV ya Voice of Victory bono Voice of Victory no ere amonae na boto kuirukiria omoyego yo live asomotando YouTube boigo elindo nyariko bakugwikira no nyambari baras chinse chaisiko ntobwate chi public address system chicho kire chingikiranu na boigo kirairero moyegogo ogende buya otariko butoka Voice of Victory boigo nkwena na toro bokoreri bogwa kachibi chago se photography boigo na bokonyora chigenerator chingi ya ekirago konye asomo yegogo ekerestima ya butokire ngokora tore cake making cake decoration na boigo ngokora tore moyega o outside catering abwastogo chana korageri abagani asomo yega ogo boigo enye kobwato moyega uyogane chiema amone birogo Voice of Victor Radio and TV no turaiga asengencho yao asamange ake namba yesimi ekobwatia enoti isano na ibere enoti eye mo isano na isato ibere isano na isato isano na 0720173287 wose enoti isano na ibere isano na inye enoti isato ibere wose enoti isano na ibere enoti isano nemo kianda isano nemo isano isato ibere gosoto tarere asamaga cha golf arcade agotoka somo chobosongo barabare ne stadium ya Gosi. Voice of Victory, leading souls to Christ.
Mzee wa Mintongoro Kelvin Osire uko Ngangusi njeno monyagitari wa mangana ya mental health uso monyagitari wa bongo ase Bethany Rehab to korega siyo konya abantu wangire gwetere mechane yo kunywa mariogo yo gotindi amona maru kerwa kirega Bethany to kwata monyagitari njeno yo mobo boko bakonya twaba mariogo na twaba sibye bitebikoro mubere baba bantaba ya kabisa twange yakoba mafunzo twaba train kero babo soka kororo banyaramba bwategento bakora baenda bakorega asibe konya twaba tukuba bwati sikali na kibaenderete twakonyera abantu abange babeire buya bayiraniri ototebimbu ya mono una abandi tuko boro kiase omwere bwe video yengo boro kitore bari twangiro twanyare ko batobokonya bakabanyorere tsigasi tutagete abantu bamino banyore obokonyi baruga banyore tsigasi kero tore Bethany Rehab program nere ko aftercare togocha twarana kibaendrete follow up to make follow up na chirega ne team yanokora follow up korora bali oyo mobo lengo role koro kuna Charles bono Charles nonye industry taxi ya ongo kusabali baga unganzere ngo boli amaswali makeigo nongeri baga
nanchire
bono ndete komanyana ki oendrete gisa oru Bethany wa korete metinyi tatororo karuoro ga cheiska ngakiuro chobo mabwache nchiri kero utaracha Bethany ne kero kwa rure Bethany
Huyo minto mnyagitari ndoche ng'ana bo maisha ne achitaka change kabisa. Ndoche ng'anya saye ongonyete kang'orokia betami rehab. Kiara bono ndoche siko gali sina rengi konyora angu konyona chandikire. Na buraibu wa madawa kulevya. Na bantu bane familia ne konyora ya tamire ko ya madawa kulevya. Bono ndoche kuru ngichenya gitari ya betami. Ndoche na konyekire ndoche nyasa ndaite ngacha oje senya gitari ya.
Asante. Ingi mono giako gogeti kero kwa renge betami utanyari ko bokwiyo.
Aliyo na roje ngaba nyagitari baro barekia ring. Naende ndagira mali nabo ntoko nyoranga turi njarateyo. Nabo kana roje company good company.
Wono lirio tarata betami nekero gwachire betami na roche pasta ngo chari abasabira mono kero mole betami no endrete bado na koende kanisa na mafunza ari mwale koebu kiaira kero kwa ngeiru raibu konyore bintu ne kanisa ya rule meao
bono nga se mongana yo gotore kana bana tore kurwa betami naende ngwa kenya sayambia mono kiera mpaka bono kuruyelio buguma bwana bugachenjia kanisa nana komisi
igombira ingiora tai bali babwate mechando bune kwa bwate kare irio tarata betami ingiora nyare ko ba ujumbe kiora nyare ko boko batebi
kakingo batebi ngaba join betami rehabilitation kiara na baba konyeka mbaluzi hope baisa goja iga betami na bara konyeke
sasa
Virata kamoria, inja
Back to our last episode, our hearts. Tuwagambira mangana mange, ikorea nkolo, tukarana yasa atoire jinkolo ibere. Alaya tuwale kuruya asema yo mahali na yasa atoire nkolo tukwena teko tumia. Chinga keji ni maite, talia Bible, talia wanafunzi, talia walimu, na wawagate mejande menga. That we, the three world stakeholders for education and academics, that the number one, we need to take care of our boys, we need to take care of our girls, because this examination time, I'm telling you, don't work smart, but work hard. This is a time when we have temptation. As I say, the present determines your future. That we need to understand that there is a God in heaven who takes care of your heart. Take care of yours. I'm urging all across the board, especially in Kenya, because it's examination time, that our boys be sincere to your God, our girls be sincere to your God. Know that this God is in control. God is the one who's taking care of us. And above all, this Lord we are worshiping is a God of order. We need to know that above all, we need to guard our hearts. It's very unfortunate that we have prepared our boys, we have prepared our girls, we have prepared our candidates, one word. And now these candidates may be hayward because they want to do one thing or the other. Mwa Kenya. Awana mwasomiwe yananga mukara matemwa kilia walimu baba tayothirikangu. Bindombire bino to gumina abana mwasaberwa abana mwarangirewa pastor abana mwarangirewa kundekane baja baba sabera lakini at the corner of the mind you are not even satisfied. Another the Quran again that you want to work smart. I want you to work hard. Some of us work hard, that's why we are here. Some of us are not very big in the position in the community, but we can have a voice to talk. In leadership, what you are today is what you will be tomorrow. If you have cheated so that you can get a grade, you can also cheat and get a position, but you will never cheat to work for it. Na wora ngaine wet, na wora ngaine wegero, lakini agero kanza segero ngaine lingo yega aswata ketokole. That's what I'm saying. That you may do all what it takes, you may have shortcuts. Unakata kona hapa na huko, mwisho unamalizia unakuwa mtu mkubwa. Will you be able to deliver? It's my prayer this afternoon that as we're winding up, that let us take care of our hearts. That in the near future, we may have a future, we may have a generation because our candidates are well prepared. Our teachers are prepared enough. Our parents have taken resources. Let us not shame them. So, fundi wa mitambo, because of time and other things, I may want to give a summary that in the heart, guard your heart and keep it, because from there, that's where life comes from. May the Lord bless you until next time. God bless you in Jesus' name. Fundi wa mitambo.